Mm-hmm.
If it's Sunday, it must be Sunday dinner with Chef Joe. Hey, everybody, and welcome to a really cold Sunday here in New England. It's even cold right here in our new studio, too. We even have a studio audience today, which I'm excited about. Of course, very socially distanced. Anyways, as you can see, what I'm doing right now is I am roasting a pepper with a blowtorch. And this is going to be for our chili today that we're making. And it's fun. I just think it's fun to blowtorch food, don't you? I just think it's great. Woo, I almost burned my glove there. All right. Anyways, we'll put this down for a minute. So, welcome to Sunday Dinner with Chef Joe. And we are going to make a chili today. I am so excited. So, I call this chili possibly award-winning chili. I didn't say it was award-winning chili. I just said it was possibly award-winning chili. I think it is. So, we're going to start right off with our peppers, as you just saw. And we're going to also start getting our ground beef going. So right here I have 4 pounds of ground beef that we're starting with. Right now I'm going to throw that right into our pot. 4 pounds. And what we want to do is we're going to continue to saute this until it's all the way browned all the way through. And then I'll show you what we're going to do next. But let's get that up there. I'm going to pump this up to max sear. All right. Meanwhile, we're going to take 2 Pablemo peppers. So this is a Pablemo pepper that I have roasted beforehand. And as you can see, I had it wrapped up in plastic wrap. And then what we're going to do is, you can see the skin will now come right off of your peppers, just like that. So I'm showing you. Can you get in there?
Mm-hmm.
Camera lady?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we have that nice, this has been, I did these earlier. So if you don't want to use a blowtorch, you don't have to use a blowtorch, everybody. You can use a grill. If you have a natural gas stove, you can use, if you have a gas stove, you can use the gas stove. You just literally throw the pepper right on top of it. So then what we're going to do is we're going to just brush these seeds off of it. And if a few seeds make it in, it's not the end of the world. We're making chili, so it's okay. All right, let's get some of these seeds off. So what we're going to do next is, I have another one. I have 2 of those total. I started one before we went on the air today. And then of course we have our serrano pepper that we're also going to use. And then what we're going to do is we're just literally going to just take these peppers and we're going to chop them up. We're going to get them into a nice fine dice. Just like that. Alright. And that's what we're going to use when we start building our chili here. So, let's see how we're doing with our chili. Our meat here. Ugh. So like I said, we're trying to bring this down and get it all nice and browned. And it's a lot of meat, so it's going to take a few minutes to do it. All right. I'm using 80-20 blend, so it's 80% lean, 20% fat. I like to use an 80-20. We're not going to leave the fat in here, so as you know, as you're cooking it off, all the fat is coming out, leaching out of it, and what we're going to do is we're going to then pour that, we're going to strain that out so we don't get stuck with all that fat in there. All right. While we're waiting for that, I think it's time for your favorite segment of mine, What's Joe Drinking? Well, as we all know, Joe's been drinking, Joe's been on dry January. So, Joe found today this really nice fake beer non-alcoholic beer. I found it's actually brewed in Ohio. It's called BrewDog Hazy AF. I mean, come on. You got to love a name just like that. Anyways, it's a non-alcoholic beer. The other part I loved about it, before I even drank it, was on the bottom of it, it also says near beer. And it totally reminded me of when I was in high school. I was a freshman in high school. And anybody who grew up with me in high school knows if you went to my house, we had a finished basement with a full wet bar. And of course, what's that like with little high school kids? Anyways, so we tried to fool one of our friends. So we bought a whole thing of fake near beer, as it was called back then, not non-alcoholic beer, and we poured a pitcher of it and we gave it to him, and we all were drinking it, and it was hilarious because he thought he was drunk, and there was no alcohol in it, so that was the best part. Very good. Best way to describe it is it tastes like beer that's mixed in water. And I hate to say it, but it's got a lot of flavor, but it's got no body. And neither do I. But that's another thing. Anyways, all right, let's go. We're back to our, that's my description of that. Okay, so as you can see, we're browning the meat, and you can see a lot of the fat is starting to render out, and that's good. We want to get rid of that when we're done. All right. When we're done with the rendering process, you're going to pour this right into a colander, just like that. All right. Then we're going to put that back on. Woo! Steaming up the old glasses here, everybody. Okay. So we're going to let this render out the fat for a few minutes. And we got a little bit more we got to put in there. All right. We'll leave that in there for now. So what we're going to add next is we're going to add our onions. So I have here one small onion diced. That's going in. Okay. And we're going to put that around. And then we're also going to add in our peppers to it. And let's chop this up really quick. Throw in some of our pepper. So, for the sake of television right now, I didn't finish roasting this, but that's okay. We're going to add a little more spice to it. We're going to be leaving this on for a while, so it will cook all that down. All right. Oh, you could smell this right now. We haven't even put the seasoning in yet. All right, next. Time to start adding our seasoning to it. So now, first and foremost, we got to deglaze. Now, some people put beer in their chili. No, not with this recipe. We're putting in good old-fashioned bourbon in this chili. My hands are all wet. Hang on one second. All right. So, this is 1 cup of bourbon. Any bourbon you want. I wasn't a big fan of this bourbon, so it works great for cooking. All right. So, that's the deglazing of our pan. So next thing we're going to add to it is we're going to add 1 28-ounce can of San Marzano tomatoes. And these are peeled tomatoes, whole peeled tomatoes. And what I'm looking for is you can get the real San Marzano tomatoes, which what these are, or you can get the San Marzano style, which are made in like California. These are the real ones from Italy, and the reason you know that they're from that region is they have the DOP on them. And so that's how I know for sure, because Italy won't allow that on there unless they're really from that area. So these are the real San Marzano tomatoes. You're going to throw 1 can of that in there. All right. Got that? All right. Next, we're going to throw in 1 cup of beef stock. Beef stock, as they say. All right. We got that. Next, we're going to put in a 1 teaspoon of chicken bouillon. Now, I like to use this better than bouillon for these kinds of things. It's a liquid really highly concentrated bouillon that is you keep in the refrigerator. Works great. So we're going to put 1 teaspoon of that in there. And then 1 teaspoon of the beef version of it to add a little more beefiness to this chili. Let me spit that in there. Can't get it out of your thing. You put it just like that. All right, that's in there. And then now we're going with 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. And we're going with a 1/2 teaspoon of white pepper. 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. All right. We are going with 3 teaspoons of cumin. Okay. Then we're going with, we spill it here a little bit. So we're going with 1/2 cup of chili powder. That's what's giving us the real chili flavor. All right. Brown sugar. So we're going with 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. This is dark brown sugar. That's why it's a little stickier. Again, gives it that caramelization and that molassesy. And then last but not least, 2 teaspoons of salt. All right. So that's our liquid base right in here with our onions and our veggies, right? Now we're going to take our ground beef and we're going to put that back in. And I don't know if you could see this, but that's all the fat that has just come out of that ground beef already. So it really helps to do that. So we're putting our beef right back in here, and we're mixing the whole thing up. And then what I'm going to do next is you're going to leave it, you're going to get it up to a boil, and then we're going to bring it down to a simmer. And then what I like to do is, if you're doing this in one of these like cast iron Dutch ovens, as they like to be called, what I would do is I would put the lid on it, get it up to a boil. Then when it comes up to a boil, you're going to bring it down to a simmer. I leave it with the top on for 2 hours with it on, and then you're going to take it off and let it simmer for 1 more hour, and that helps thicken it up. And then when you're all said and done, let's clean up our mess a little bit here. When you're all said and done, you get this beautiful, gorgeous chili. And I'm gonna let me scoop out. Let's scoop out some right now. We got this gorgeous meat chili that's been simmering all day, just like that. And then I have all kinds of things that we can put on it. Hang on, I'm gonna move this out of the way. Okay. So we got our nice chili, and then of course you can put whatever toppings you like on it. So I always like a little cheese. Gotta have a little cheese on it, right? A little cheese. We've got some nice guacamole here you could always add to it. A little sour cream we could add to it. And then, we got some more diced onions we could throw on there as well. This is, as you can see, there's no beans in this. It's all meat chili. And then, of course, we'll top it with a fresh cornbread that camera lady made before the show. And we got that. We've got our beer. And I am ready for dinner. I don't know about you. So, that is our chili. I hope you make it at home. It's absolutely freaking delicious. Again, don't forget, everybody, that you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter is at Chef Joe Louie. I have my own YouTube channel, and you can just type in when you get into YouTube, Chef Joe Louie, you'll come to my channel. And of course, don't forget that if it's Sunday, it must be Sunday dinner with Chef Joe. So everybody stay happy, stay healthy, and stay safe. And I'll see you next week on Sunday Dinner with Chef Joe. Bye.